Today's session is being facilitated by our veteran speaker, Vivek Prakash. I know many of you know him very well by now. Let me on record state that Vivek Prakash has been an industry veteran for more than 30 years now in the fields of management consulting and project management. He has been a very active member of Project Management Institute. He has been promoting project management best practices both during his corporate life and in his own business entrepreneurial life now under the banner of pmwares Consulting. And we look forward to hear a pretty interesting session. The topic chosen is very close to heart to all of us, because I'm sure many of us would have faced these challenges in our career as to what is the distinction between a manager and a leader, what is the quantum jump needed, what are those traits. I am eager to hear him, and I'm sure all of you will enjoy the session. Over to you, Mr. Vivek.
Thank you very much, Kalyan, for this nice introduction and setting the context to the people. And let me share my presentation here.
While Vivek gets ready, as usual, our protocol will be there for any session. People can send in their requests and their ideas, suggestions in the chat box. I'll be monitoring it for you, and we will share it with Vivek at the right time.
Okay, thank you. So let me go ahead with this. I thought we talk about that develop your leadership quotient, and basically I'm talking about that some enter into the industry and then grow in the industry like manager, leader, or different roles. What is the journey and what different skill at different time will be required, and how it grow up, and what are the industry expectation, and what are the culture in which we are working, and how this culture push the people in a specific role and expect something, and you have to like comply with this, or otherwise you are swimming against the current actually. So let's look into this. I will mainly talk about that generally people enter as a technical people as such, as become expert in technology, and then become manager, and expected that they will lead the teams and lead for the success, etc. Now, what happens actually, if you look at the whole scenario and the ironical scenario in which we are living, you will see that all the project managers, or all the managers actually, project manager is not very specific, all a manager as such, whomsoever are coming and they becoming manager and leading the team, they all were technical people. Generally, all are technical. Okay, I think few people may be found that may not be, but most of them are, even the people who have grown up to CEO, etc. Now, how promotions occurs that when you do a fantastic job in a technical role, then you will become eligible to grow in a technical role and then become manager after a certain time. The environment which we have in our offices is like that we, especially in India, actually, I don't know, outside maybe the environments are a little different, but in India, it is very common that after a certain time, the people expect that you assume the responsibility of a manager. And if you are not manager, there is something wrong with you, right? There's something that you are still technical, or still talking about, if you are in a software company, you're still coding or talking about some technology or some architecture, etc. So something wrong with it. Even the architects who are going into technical things, I think the industry is maturing and people stay in technical role, but they also expect to be managing a team, like an architect. A senior technical person normally have a team. Which comprise of people. Now, when you have a team and you are still doing technical work, basically you are doing dual role. You are doing technical as well as managing a team. You get projects. You have to deliver something, and that becomes a project. And you don't know that you are also in a managerial role because your designation doesn't say like you are a manager. So you clearly become a manager. You are expected to take additional responsibility of a manager called techno-managerial person. Or sometimes, like I said, that an architect or some senior technical person automatically moving to managerial role or leading role while he thinks that he's still technical person. Now that is the worst case because you are managing, but you don't know you are managing actually, and you expected to manage. Now that's the most challenging thing what an does. Now what is happening here? The problem is that the skills required for a technical person, the technical person is a person of depth, get into the matter and dig it out and do research, R&D kind of things, work into closely. While manager cannot do this, he has everything in the project or everything in the operation or anything, he is responsible, and therefore he has to take care of everything called breadth of the whole thing, right? Now, leadership is a all different goal. We will talk about that. What is this? This is what this is all about. I think many of us don't even understand what exactly from as a leader, what is expected from us. So in corporate world, what is happening? You as a technical person grows because he's very high performer, and high performer means he's doing a very good technical work and become a manager, and that's become a challenge. And then because you become a very good manager, you will be elevated to a leadership role. Now, you become a leader, you need to be manager? Not necessary. You can be a leader at any position, but this is how our corporate worlds work. Very senior people are called leadership position. The middle management is called management. And the lower person people required as a technical people. Now, so when you move from one role to another role, and then you face a lot of challenges, and companies generally do not have any strategy to groom people to the new role. So some companies may have some few days program. They're trying to change the person of die-hard habits of his natural instinct into a new role in a few days, which generally doesn't happen. But even that, most of the companies do not have even that actually, and there is no support. So what I take a poll actually, probably I just want to understand what exactly my assumptions are right or wrong, something like that. So I have a poll actually here, and you just have to respond yes or no. So the question, let me put up the rule, put up this. Okay. So question says that if you are in a managerial role, only then attempt this question. Otherwise, you don't attempt this question. Were you a technical resource before moving into a managerial role? That is the question. It's very simple, and you can quickly answer this because you know what path you have taken. So I will keep it for like 10 minutes, 10 seconds more. If you want to attempt, please attempt now. Yeah, I'm going to close this. Okay. So 70% people responded. I consider other people maybe not be in the managerial role or do not want to participate, whatever it is. Let me share the result with you. So 74% people, out of 70 people, 70% people who responded, 74% people were in technical. There are 25% people around. They are not technical. They may be in managerial role directly going without through this. So this is quite possible. People also come through a managerial role. But we are talking about like what we are talking about is applicable to both But it's talk about especially the challenges when the people moving from technical role to managerial to leader, or managerial or technical to leader. There is no need that path doesn't go through manager to leader. You can be a leader in any position. You don't need to be manager as such. So I stop this sharing and I will move. Thank you very much for participating in that. So the results as such, I as per expectation as such. So let me move further and talk about that why the people face challenges when they move into from a technical role to a managerial role, and why these challenges are there. I will talk about the leadership also, but I will talk about a step. First, I will talk the transition from a technical person to a managerial, and then I will talk about the transition from manager or technical to directly to a leader or manager to leader kind of things. So there are two steps which I'm going to discuss here now. Now look at this, that technical person is a person of depth, while the manager has to manage the breadth. Now, how easy to change your mindset from depth to this, that we need to look at. One is detail oriented, and the second person, the manager, has to get into detail only if required. If he get into detail of every matter, then he cannot manage the whole project or operations, whatever it is. Generally, technical people have 1, 2, 3 things in hand, but manager has a long list of tasks because everything he is responsible for. Technical people normally do the work, and manager has to get the work done from the other people. Now, this is entirely different. Getting done is much easier. Getting done from the other people is much more challenging because the things are not in your hand. Somebody else is doing something. Technical person look at the completing the work because he has 1 or 2 or 3 tasks in his hand. He has to complete that. He is not looking for the complete deliverables. But project manager or operation manager or any manager is looking for the end-to-end thing, the end result for which he is being installed there. Here, the celebrations happen when you achieve something your own, and here celebration can happen only when the something which is an objective given to you achieve this, only then the celebration happen, otherwise not. And if you don't, even the individual achievement may not result into the final outcome, right? We just saw our cricket team as such. So there are a lot of personalities who is doing fantastic job, but we couldn't win. So the captain cannot be happy because we couldn't win. The individual people can be happy because they have performed quite well in different matches. But we have to perform together as a team in one match to win it. And that's what the difference is. But we'll talk about captains have also be a manager and the leader kind of thing, something like that. Now look at the ladder, how you're moving towards it, and we look into why the good manager, or in that sense, good leaders are less, because the whole corporate world is a little ironical, and the situations are very confusing, and the things which are set, either set, somebody set it, or it gets set automatically, but they pull each other and do not allow the right person to move into the right position. Look at this. The anomalies we have in our system. You cannot manage if you don't have experience. You need some experience to manage the things, which is quite obvious, which is absolutely fine. But look at this, you are in a technical role because initially the mechanical engineers, software engineers, civil engineers are being recruited as such. And they're supposed to do technical work, not the managerial work. To gain the experience, you have to be technical. If you are not having engineering degree, or otherwise you have to have an MBA degree, which you are only 7%, probably, I'm not so sure, but probably that. But majority of the things, you must have an engineering degree or some technical degree to get into this. So even if you're in finance, the finance also we have a technical part and the managerial part. So you have to be, or even economics. Economics has a technical part and the managerial part. So you have to be technical, strong on Excel, strong on data, strong on this to be in economic or other streams as such. So you have to be technical to get recruited and can get experience majority of the time, not every time. What happens if you are task-oriented person, that is, you want to look for the accomplishing the task, you may not be a good technical person in that sense. So people have a natural instinct. Either you learn technology, but you may not be from by heart, you may not be a very great technical person. You may be a task-oriented person, you may be a people-oriented person, you may be mixing around with the people more interestingly, more effectively than actually sitting on the table and doing something in the Excel or in the code or in the machine or putting in a screwdriver in some tool as such. But if you are task-oriented, people-oriented person, you are less technical, it slows down your path to manager. This is a managerial skill, right? And if you are a good technical person, you grow faster because you are performing well in the technical role. And it enhances your path to manager. So who moved the managerial role? The person who is more technical and less managerial. And the person who is less managerial or high managerial skills and less technical skills, means the natural instinct, his path through manager will slow down. This is what the system says. Same thing happened at the managerial role. If you are a people-oriented person, which is the basic skills required for the leader, then you may not be a good manager. Now, some people may have some contradictory on this, but let me tell you, the manager you are seeing, they are not pure manager. They have some natural skills of leadership also. So if they are people-oriented, they actually shows that they have some leadership skills. So there is no pure manager kind of person. Okay, you have high orientation towards people, means you have more leadership role. You have more leadership natural instinct or natural skills with you, natural talent with you towards the leadership. But in that case, you may not be a good manager, because the work given to a manager, you may not be able to do that much as efficiently as the person who has better managerial skills. If you are a task-oriented person, process-oriented person, you will do a better job of manager, and therefore you may not be proved to be a good leader, but this enhances your path to leader. And therefore, most of the leaders are coming out which are more manager than less leader. And this is the irony in all system is lying there actually. Right? So what happens actually? Like other phenomena, look at the other phenomena. If you face a situation first time that your manager used to handle, your manager is not available and you have to make a decision. And you don't know how to act on this because you have never faced this situation. What do you do? Can you respond in chat box quickly? What do you do in this situation? Something which your manager is supposed to do, he is not available. Now things on you, you have to do it, but you have never faced this situation. What do you do? Some quick responses in the chat box. Okay, but you have no experience in making such decision. Okay, face it, but face it, how do you make a decision? Use your experience and common sense. Okay. But from where the common sense will come? The common sense also come from somewhere. Try to sort it out from my end. Okay. Discuss with manager or other peer. Manager is not available. Evaluate alternative options with the team and find the optimal. Okay, it's a mainly manager work actually. Past experience did analyze the situation with respect to requirement. Very good. I think this is good enough. Very good. Let me give you post yourself in the manager position and take a decision. That's what actually I'm going to tell you. Then this is what most of the time happens. 90% of the managers and leaders copy the action of their bosses because they have never faced the situation. They don't know. The team does not know. You don't know how the team will be knowing about it. Okay. because you never encounter such a thing. You are never involved in such kind of things. So what do? You see, if your manager would be there, what he would have done. Even at a home, you see, look at it. Even at home, the father is there. Father has a business. He has included son also in the business, and both are running. One day, father is not there, gone somewhere else, not accessible, and the decision has to be made by son. What the son does? He tries to see that if his father would be there, what decision he would have taken. He looked with his experience with his father, what he is doing in past, whatever they are working together. So the same way people in the office also do the same thing. They look at if the manager is there, there is another thing. If you are not aligned with your manager and take a decision, that's quite possible when the manager is back, you get a firing. So you want to be in line with your manager, actually. You are not as free as you think. Now, what happens in this case? That means, what does that mean? This means if you do that, if your boss has set a good example, you take a good decision. Quite possible. You are together, actually, right? And if your boss has set a bad example, you take a bad decision. Most of the time we learn this way because we encounter this situation. We either discuss with our boss, or boss is not able. We think how the boss works, and then we want to be aligned with him and do the work what he is doing. Now, what is this? This is another thing. So what happens actually? Even if you dislike or like boss, whatever it is, I'm talking about the worst case scenario. Even if you dislike your boss, you may become like him. This is what we say, we are compromising in the office. We are doing what people expect from us. And if we don't do that, we are actually swimming against the current and put a lot of efforts to win. Or most of the time people give up actually and compromise with the situation. Okay, we have to manage this way. And they get aligned with the culture of the organization or set by their boss. So what is the way to become a good leader? There are ways, but we need to understand the fundamental requirements of a leader. But first, let's look at that, how we are able to elevate it. Simple thing, there are technical, at the technical role, you are missing something. You may be having many of those things, but at that time, your growth manager will slow because you will more perform on the managerial role in the technical role, actually. Work in the technical role. So what do you need to do? If you are a good performer on technical side, you have high technical skills. What happens? You need to change your attitude towards breadth of the things. Get into details. Not getting into details only when it is required. See how you can manage several tasks. Get the work done from the other people. Learn it. Focus on the process. And focus on delivering the product, not the task. Okay, let's look into how we can do this. How we can convert to this. You are a person of depth. You want to convert into a person of breadth. What you need to do? Looking in the depth of every matter, you have to give this away. It is not resist this, even if you naturally try to look at the bird eye view. Look at the integrated approach and only selectively get into the depth when your technical person is unable to reach. Try to bring a resource even if he needs help instead of you getting involved. Try to bring a resource. Manager is more a resource manager. So your job is to bring resources to get the job done. So try to bring in helping hand. Do not get involved yourself. You can get involved, but only selectively when it is really required. Otherwise, you will lose your hands on the breath. What many people do who do not learn this, they extinguish the fire at X place. By the time they extinguish the fire at one place, you get a fire in the other place. By the time you extinguish the fire at other place, at third place, the fire break up. And you keep extinguish the fire here and there, you become a firefighter. What is the difference between firefighter and normal person? Normal person try to prevent the fire. Fireman extinguish the fire. It doesn't try to prevent the fire. It comes when the fire is there. So become a firefighter. Unorganized approach, you can see. Can we see if the people can mute themselves? I see some kind of noise coming somewhere. So getting away details of every matter, seeking details of questioning the capability of the team members. Even so, you have to question the people, but ensure that you are not challenging the capability of the person. You are investigating. There's a difference between asking the question. When you ask the question, your method will tell the other person that you are whether you are questioning his capability or whether you are investigating the matter. The job is to investigate the matter, not the question the capability. You can question the capability, but that is the very last resort, not initially. Investigate the question. Seek details to provide help. That's how you can manage it. Now look at this. 1 or 2 or 3 tasks and the long list of tasks, which normally manager complain that they have unlimited number of tasks, never getting exhausted. 3 get done, 4 get added. 3 get done, 4 get added. 5 get done, 10 get added. Something like that. The best thing is to prepare a to-do list, but that is not enough. That is the starting point. Prioritize the task. That's most important. And that is the reason to-do list is required. To-do list is required to prioritize, not to just do everyday job. You have to do the priority work first. Beware of the urgent thing, because urgent things looks like important, but they may not be. And learn to delegate, very important thing. See who else can do this job. This is very important. This has multifold effect on the people. We will learn about it. Getting the work done. It is not about doing the work, not everything to be done by you. You have to get it done with the people, actually. Try to leave the habit of doing everything yourself. You need to understand the skill of your people and then organize the project. You see, project manager or manager is mainly an organizer. If you organize around the skill of the team member, then you can easily delegate and get the job done from the people. But if you don't do, it becomes a challenge for you. And many times you end up doing it, not getting at all time. And many managers complain me that their day is over. In fact, they're working 10 hours a day and they don't know where the time is gone. And many times, most of the time, they are either not prioritizing or not getting the job done from the people. For that, they need to delegate. They need to see the people get help from the other people as well. Create an environment there. Deliver the product, not deliver the individual tasks. We are not focus on the end result, which will create value for the customer. So you need to look into the end-to-end process, how the things will come and how it will be delivered to the customer. Focus on end-to-end and interconnection and integration. This is the place where the manager has to look at. Now, this is something which I quickly want to manage because I want to focus more on leadership. And let me tell you why the leadership is required. This is something which is important to understand. So let me show you a small video which you think that what is going on in our corporate world. Okay, I'll just show you a video actually, direct from the YouTube as such. Just give me a minute. at this. You're able to see this?
Wondering where we went wrong.
It's a
An altercation at work
report I
takes
just
a toll
received
on your
from my
dinner
man.
plans. We sulk and crib instead of enjoying our time out. A stern email from the boss spoils our weekend. We replay its words in our head over and over again. Now imagine what
Okay, folks, one more minute. We have to complete the next 5 also.
Yeah. Okay, let me move on.
We got only one response right now. Yeah, two have come up.
Yeah, the next 5.
Okay. Okay, countdown for another minute.
Okay.
We have got the first response. Let's wait for a couple of more.
So the people who have done, they can give 5 marks to first one, 4 marks to second, 3 marks to third, 2 marks to fourth, and 1 mark to the fifth one. And multiply with the numbers you have. So add number in the first column and then multiply with them with the, so add some number. Let's say suppose you get 7, then multiply with 5. Here, if you get 3, then multiply with 4, and so on. And then sum this up.
Yeah, this is a good idea. Just by counting the numbers and then.
Yeah, I just make it simple actually.
Yeah.
It was complex, but it is for this webinar, I make it little simple.
I like this idea. This becomes just a tally system where you just keep the score and then after adding it up, just add the weight, multiply by the weight. Okay. So if somebody has scored 10 or above and in the first one completely agree and with a product of 5, they must be excellent leaders.
Yeah, I will give you the score. Yeah. So if you've done the scoring, then this is how you can actually assess.
They must be excellent leaders. And
Sorry?
we should learn from them then. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so you need not to give the score. It is score for yourself, and I hope you have done this very honestly. This will give you your understanding, and from where you need to. So this is a baseline from where to start actually. Okay, let me get into. So I think this is captured, right? So let me move to the next one. So what is leadership actually? Yeah, Surya is having to say something. Yes, Surya, please.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good evening. Sir, this explanation grid, uh, when we were doing the rating, so you said put one where you identify the most with, right? Amongst
Right.
those 5 headings,
Correct.
completely agree, mostly
Right.
agree.
Right.
So
Right.
does one indicate, and then 5 is least, or it's the reverse? One is
One means like you can count them at least. Like in this column, you had 1 7 times. So you can count 7 times. That's
okay.
Otherwise, it is a tick actually. One means tick.
Okay, sir.
Means tick.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So what is leadership actually? Let's understand a little bit, like many times it's not so clear. So what leadership we are talking about is, it's more to do with the people than the process. It's more to do with creating a vision and accomplishing it than actually producing a product. It is inspiring people instead of getting the job done from them. It is delegating the power, then exercising the power. And serving, then get served. Basically, what leaders does, it's change the state from one to another, and which should be better than the previous one. And if anything you do, the state doesn't change, it does not like benefit any stakeholder as such. So what leadership does is actually it create a vision. It take them, align them towards that goal, right? It make people to realize their potential and bringing out best from them, and help them to find greater meaning in their everyday work. I think we talk about that somebody was breaking the stone, and 3 people were breaking the stone. One person visiting there and asking, what are you doing? So I'm breaking the stone. The second person they say, what are you doing? So I am actually earning a livelihood. And the third person is asked, I am dedicating my work to the God because I am building a temple. So both 3 people are doing the same job, but the perspective they look at it are very different. And that's what you say, a greater mean in what you're doing. You may be doing the same, but you see it differently. So how do you move? As I said, you not necessarily move to manager and manager to leader. Though I'm saying from manager to leader, I'm just creating a difference between that. If you become a manager, what you will be, and what become leader, what you will be. You can directly move into a leadership role, which I think that you should, instead of getting into managerial role. Even you are called project manager, operation manager, or X manager, Y manager, but you demonstrate the traits of a leader. Now look at this. Leader is aim for a purpose, not to achieve a specific objective or product. Is change the state. Ask for what and why, not how and when. Focus on vision and align the people to that vision. develop relationship with the people. Like you look at the video of toxic environment, what is happening? There is no connection between the people to people. We are seeing them as a commodity or machines to produce some product. There is no vision, simply you can say. Doing the right things and relying more on influence than the control. So control and influence, they are two different things altogether. Control is enforced, influence is, so control is push, while the influence is a pull. Serve, inspire, ask what I can do for the people, doesn't ask what people are going to do. And this makes a lot of difference. Create, can we make it the mute the people? Okay. So this perspective, this is a perspective, this is a mindset, this is a thought process, and we call it thought leader. Thought leader means you think like this way, and that's what make everything different. So what happens? Let's do one more exercise. I will ask you to do one more exercise. You might have seen a lot of movies, and you see hero and villain. You see hero and villain. No movie says that this person is hero and this person is a villain. But you know who is hero and who is villain. Why? Because they show different kind of traits. Hero shows a different kind of traits. Villain say a different kind of traits. For example, I say that to whom you consider hero, the person who is free from selfish nature, who help others. In normal movies, if you see, hero normally help others, while the villain does the opposite. He take the advantage of other people to help himself. So the opposite thing. So what I ask you to put something first, what do you think? You can put this into the chat box. What do you think? What kind of traits a hero demonstrate? So put this into the chat box. What do you think? In a movie, any movie, a generalized manner, what kind of traits a hero demonstrate? Put some words in the chat box. What do you think? Courage, honesty, yes. Helping nature, selfless, positivity, helping, loving, friendly, guidance. A leader of the movies, you consider leader because he's demonstrating a specific traits. Protect, yes. Resolve issues, yes. Fulfill responsibilities. He owns the responsibility and fulfill it, yes. Take initiative. Other people, he is volunteer, right? The things which nobody touching, hero goes and touch and work for it. Courageously take risk for other people, help other people, and put his life on risk. Take charge during trouble and problem. Very good, very good. Let's switch to villain. What kind of traits a villain shows, right? What kind of traits? What kind of traits villain demonstrate? Dishonest, okay. Create issues. It resolve issues. Villain actually create issues. Selfish. Ideally sitting, doing nothing, okay. Or making other people not to do something, right? Dominating. Morals are less, and the hero shows high moral. Okay. Gain from others, easy earning, okay. Destroy things, especially culture, especially the values in the social environment, working without vision, just look for his benefit. Selfish, yeah. Honest, yes. Very good. So if you see, what you say is simply these things, which I have generally thought out, that concern, hero is a concern for well-being of others, understand others people's perspective, have a strong moral compass, right? Encourageous, afraid of not facing any difficult situation. He's not afraid of. Sacrifices for his interest over the public interest. Proactive, honest, and several traits you also demonstrate. I think I will add them here. On the other side, villain is selfish, egoistics, show high egos, right? I am, right? Okay, harm others for his benefit. Hero sacrifices him for the other's benefit. Jealous of others. Clever, but cunning. So that's the problem, right? Clever is not a problem, but cunning. Dishonest, dodge others, dhoka deta hai, right? Now look at this. Generally, what hero demonstrate is a leadership traits in general. And that is why we call them hero. Hero is simply a leader, actually. Now look at introspect yourself. When it comes to you behaving with others, what kind of traits you demonstrate? Are you selfish? See, many times we praise hero. We say everybody should be hero. We like hero. But when the real life comes, we actually demonstrate villain traits. The traits which villain. Most of the time we get selfish, though we praise hero. He is selfishness. Even for a small thing. Right? There is a common place nobody should occupy. I get the opportunity, I try to occupy it at the cost of other people. Because if I occupy, other people will not be able to enjoy that. Why the workplace is toxic, and this lady is talking about loud and clear that despite we are praising heroes, we often demonstrate traits which are actually possessed by villain. But we don't like to be called villain. Many times we got dishonest, jealous, got obsessed with our own interest. Simple, in society meetings, how people become selfish and talk about their own interest. Very simple, not much gain there. Small gains. In office, look at the office. For small things, not even giving things, we find how to give things to the other people. No, and that's where everything different. So when we lose the tendency of villain and start adopting the tendencies of heroes, I don't say you have to have all the heroes tendency, then you really become a hero. We don't want to be, we are realistic people. The movie may be a very unrealistic, but many times the movies also should demonstrate a real hero in the life and who has actually fought for giving his life or sacrificing his life. But not much, but something can be taken. And if we take, I think we are moving towards leadership. We are not making our work culture toxic. We are not taking names. We are not blaming other people. We are resolving problem. We are not creating problem. And that's what we expect. When I say manager to leader, you can put X to leader. These things all together. There is nothing so bad. Yes, targets are important, but purpose is more important. Targets are for a purpose. If without purpose, target become toxic. Targets without purpose become toxic. Right? Think about the benefit of creating value for the stakeholders. Either it is a customer or your team or the peers around. Objective is not the final goal, but they are meant to create value to the customer, to the team. So it's not about either or. Either customer will get the value or team get the value. It is both. Team will get the value, also the customer. All stakeholders in this project are going to win. None of them going to lose. That's not acceptable. I am going to follow the traits of a hero. I'm going to follow the traits of a hero, right? Not villain. I have not demonstrated the villains. I don't like it in any of the movie. I dislike it, right? Bring change in the other's life, right? Come out from your comfort zone. And I says that I should be an helping hand. I should become enabler for my team. I should become enabler to my customers. I will challenge the current process which are not so useful or creating problem for the people and change it. See, one very important skill of a leader is volunteerness, volunteer, swamsevaka, right? You should be a volunteer for a cause nobody is ready to take up. And that's very important. If I can't volunteer, I'm telling you, you cannot take up a leadership role. This is just impossible. And when I give the volunteer, I did a lot of volunteer work. I try to do, and I learned this a very hard way, that if in volunteer, you learn to give, you don't expect anything in return when you give something. And that's a good habit which you get when you do volunteer work. So volunteer yourself for a common cause, help everybody, not only myself. Bring a positive change. Look for the positive change in the people's life. People, when I say that's why I'm saying people. People means the people around. It's not team. It's not customer. Many companies says customer first. Many companies says team first. Many companies says management first. There is no first or second. Everybody is important. We have to create an environment and role and play things. All will win. There is no win-lose scenario. There is no loss and win here. We all have to win, have to together. We have to get along with people. Move out from your cubicle. Come out from your cabin. Roam around the people. Now, many people are thinking, yeah, where is the time for this? It's morning to evening, we don't know where the time is going, and you are talking about free up your time for talking to the people. Come on, that's where the delegation comes into picture. If you can't talk to the people, then you cannot be a people person. You don't understand them, and you will do all those things which that lady was talking about, isn't it? Reserve some time for every day, especially the people under you, because that's become a little difficult. Reach out to people around, is either senior or junior or left or right or the outside or inside, doesn't matter. We have to take out time, otherwise we cannot be a leader. Meet one or two team members, or I can say anybody as such around my work. I have to build relationship with everyone. Build informal relationship. That's important. And that's what the next thing. Build a network. And network I'm talking about is not the official relationship, which anyway get established because you are in a position. I'm talking about building informal relationship. Informal. How informal relationship will be done? When you volunteer for a common cause. 10 people are working. There is no hierarchy at all here. There is no CEO. There is no junior person. There is no chaprasi. There is no peon. There is no manager. Everybody working for a common cause. Come together and try to create something, face some problem, try to solve it. And that's how they build a relationship among them. More you come out, more talk to the people, more spend time with the people, more do work with them, and you will get. Try to take initiative that drives some kind of improvement. I say maybe a common cause. Now, especially for the team, because leader has to do a lot of things for the team, and you say they are dependent on you. Now, what you need to do, change your mindset from why, and ask a question, why someone report to me? We recruit people because they can do our work. We take their interview, what all you know, can you do my work? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? It's okay, fine. He is looking fit, let's take it. But we forget about it. What about his takeaway? He's coming over. It's a give and take, right? He's going to give a lot of things to you. What about what you are going to give him back? Salary? Is that all? And if you are giving back only the salary, let me tell you, if somewhere else he will get a better salary, he will move on. There is nothing other binding forces. So if you want a binding force, the best binding force is the relationship, is the emotional connect, is the informal relation with him. Is not salary. Salary is a very weak bond, can be broken anytime. Very weak link. So think about if somebody coming over there reporting to me, what kind of value I'm going to create. How I can make people grow. How I can add value in the people. See that everybody come in the project or everybody come for the work, keeping one thing in mind, what's in it for me? Either they can say or they may not say. Some people will be bold, they will tell upfront. Some people may be not so bold, they will not. And something will be they want, but they may not be able to tell you. Often we talk about hidden agendas, and we see it in a poor light. No, hidden agendas are not as poor as you think. Hidden agenda is an agenda which cannot be talked about in public. They may not be wrong. The person may not be in the situation to talk about it. A person may feel shy. If I talk about it, people will be having a bad perception of me. So I don't talk about it, but everybody has. What is a good leader does, he senses the hidden agenda of the person. He tries to find out that hidden agenda. Does not ask, what is your agenda? No, there will be agendas. People will never really talk. Let's talk about, let's accept the reality. This is bound to happen. Everybody has, I have, you have, everybody has. Let's try to find out what other people agenda is there and how we can satisfy that agenda. If you can satisfy their agenda, they will satisfy your agenda. Right? You take care of them, they take care of you. Simple. Inspire people. Talk about collective responsibility. Forget about what I can do, what you can do. Let's talk about what we all together can do. Look at this. If you punish, which is happening in this toxic environment, I'm talking about this lady talking about a lot, because the whole environment is of punishment. If you don't do this, you get this punishment. If you don't do this, you will be talked about a lot of what you have not done and never be talked about what you have done. Appreciation comes hardly, punishment comes very easily. But I'm going to talk about two things. You are not eligible to give a punishment unless you have appreciated a person 10 times. So if you are going to punish a person as a manager or as a leader, please count, have you appreciated this person earlier 10 times or not? If not, then please keep your punishment in your pocket and let it go. Okay, let's look for the opportunity where you can appreciate a person and then punish. Okay, so you have the right to punish. It is required, sometimes punishment is required, but start with appreciation. Let's appreciate it a couple of times before we really start looking at, oh, this is not working. Or on the first instant, you start telling that it's not working. Come on here. Please allow, giving a breathing time to allow it to work at least before you create a perception that it's not working. Provide guidance, help him, remove obstacles. This is the fundamental job of a leader, remove obstacles. As a senior person, you see the obstacle faster than your team. Find them out. Want your team to be aware of these obstacles and help them to remove. Don't be like a policeman who just try to push the whole car. There are so many obstacles, he doesn't move, but want the traffic should move faster. So he put up a hand very fast so that nobody is there to stand on the square. Everybody is in a hurry to go office, reach to office or reach to his home. What is required is a wider road. Any obstacle on the road should be removed. The traffic will automatically be flowing. So that is what is required. So remove the struggle, help them as well. The productivity automatically improve. Don't push for the productivity. Delegate it. That's I already talking about a lot. Cherish team success, no individual success. So what I have done, you have done, this is the no individual success. It is all team success, overall success. And we talk about create opportunity, I will say. Even if you are thinking that the opportunity is little distance, create intermediate opportunity. That is your skills to be of celebrations. Create more celebration in the team. Let's be people happy, and let's create an environment where people are happy. And how people are happy? When we celebrate small successes, not only big successes. We keep waiting for big successes. I don't know when it will come or whether it will come. At least celebrate some small success. They are already coming. Create some milestones, and you achieve. You can say, okay, let's enjoy for at least for an hour if you cannot for a day. Don't wait for the long-term results. At the end of the project, we will have a party. Come on, yeah. 6-month project. Let's have a party every month. Maybe a small party, not a big party. Be emotionally balanced. हिंदी में बोलते हैं मन बुद्धि का संतुलन बनाना. We say emotional intelligence, and that really mean is create a balance of mind and heart. Not too logical, not be too logical. Like all this toxic environment you see this lady was talking about is all because we are too logical. Heart we have taken out from the home, from this, and we are only use this heart at home. No, it is required in office also. People are emotional being, people are spiritual being. They need love and affection. And without that, you can't expect that the people will be putting their soul. You want their soul and you have put their heart at home. No, forget about it. Please come and see the reality. Don't be too logical. Let's balance. Let's understand people. They are also sad sometimes. They also feel depressed sometimes. They also, when they do not get success, there is no need to bounce on them. They are already feeling bad about it. And then you need to balance this out. Be patient, control your reaction. That is most important. Now, I give you a concept here. Like I have told you a lot of things, but as these webinars are there, like we do webinars, we mainly talk about what. We don't talk about how, because we don't have time in webinars of how. We actually, in webinars, we normally talk about what you can do to get an ideas and start working on it. But how it will translate into an action. You know, there are two things. One is knowledge, another is realization. One is Gyan, another is Bodh. The knowledge does not change, does not trigger the action. The realization actually trigger an action. So we keep talking in lot of webinars. We are talking about these things to practice. I don't know how many of you will be able to put this into place. I think you will definitely be one or two things putting in your place. I'm pretty sure, but I'm giving a tool to you. And this is called a concept, and which we call Gyan, Karm or Upasana, right? The people who don't understand Hindi, I will come to this English. This will turn out. What is written on the top is the same thing. Now, this will give you some understanding that how you can master one or two or things on a continuous basis. This is not a today's concept. This is thousands of year-old concept which I'm talking about. How does it work? You earn something, you act on it, and then you worship it. What it says, gain the knowledge, start working on it, and then worship it. The Upasana is worship it. What do you mean by worship actually? So what is worship is, or what is puja we normally call is not by taking some lamp in the head and doing some kind of pratna. That is good actually, but that's not limited. It's a very minimal you can do. What you need to do is focus on know-how. So learn. We are talking here a lot of about what you can do, but I'm talking about learn how you can do this. We give some tips, we give some directions, but because of the time limitation, we are not able to give you a lot of how. You need to act on it and then practice it. Upasana is practice. Worship is practice. If you want to worship something, do it. So at one place I was listening, and one spiritual guy was saying that, you know, Ram ko manta hai, but Ram ki nahi manta. You know, you worship Ram, but what Ram is supposed to do, it does not follow at all. So that's what. So if you have learned something in this and you go for the know-how, go into the little deeper, act on it. If you start acting on it, if you don't act, nothing is going to. By listening, nothing changes. And then practice. Then when practice make the person perfect, or practice change the state. I'm talking about even leader, if you can change the state. And if you cannot change the state of your own, whose state you are going to change? Act on you. So we thought of a little bit about it. I thought, okay, there should be something for the tool to people to this. So we are coming out, we thought of one thing, that we give something to you. So we work on some kind of working on it, coming out with a leadership program. So probably we are thinking about this because we are talking about a lot of what, and we talk about various people also, and seeing that there is a gap of implementation and talking about. So in this leadership program, we cover a lot of things which we are telling you what you should do, what you should do, what you should do. Like in this, I told you a lot of things what you should do. Now this program probably will focus on how we can do. How we can do. And really the pedagogy will be like that it's not only develop the skills, it will not only with relevant example, it will be an experiential learning. And there is a post-program support for practicing. So when you practice, you will face the real challenges of the life. So we thought of, okay, just giving the training will not going to help much. It will help, but it will not change the state. So if we want to change the state in some people, then there should be a support when they are taking action. So there will be a post-program support that help you in practice. So that is all what I wanted to cover up here. This is open for question answers. And if you have any question, I would like to do it. I will just try to introduce this. We are working on it. It is not out to work. So, we will be coming out with this.
Okay. Just one.
I just to get what you're thinking about. Yes.
One comment had come in while you were talking about obstacle.
Okay.
So somebody else wants to know whether obstacle being a resource is creating negativity. Is it correct?
Obstacles creating negativity.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Obstacle doesn't mean negativity. Obstacles means that you are going through a ship and there is an iceberg in front of you. You don't know it was there. It will fall in your path. So there are a lot of things which your road, you are going through a road, but you find some road is half built and you have a lot of path holes. So this has become a problem. Now, how do you deal with this problem? That's important. So there is no negativity with respect to obstacle. Obstacle means your path is not very smooth. It's falling. It has path holes. It has things which can stop you, or there could be some villain also. So, but how to deal with the villain, that we need to learn also. There could be, but not consider that will be a villain. There will be natural obstacles will be there.
Okay. So essentially, as a leader, you need to learn how to identify that and help your team overcome that. That's how the
overcome that. So the
the
obstacle can be part of the game actually.
exactly.
So
Okay.
they surface up when you reach there.
Yeah. So somebody wants to know when the program will be launched. Do we have any timeline?
So we don't have a timeline. We're working on it. So we'll soon let you know.
Okay. Any other question? No, somebody else has commented about a culture of celebrating heroes. Yeah, it's a deep-rooted mindset about all that. Fine. So well taken, the comment taken well, Sanjeev. The question here was, how do you develop leadership skills and how you become a good leader? So that was the objective here of this session. So it's not in the context of a film hero or something. It's in the real life heroes. How you become a hero means selfless. All those traits of leadership are embodied in that term. That is how you'll have to interpret it.
Yeah. So you don't need to be a hero actually, but when required, we can demonstrate those traits, and those are generally take you towards the leadership role actually. Or you demonstrate. See, leader is not you have to be in position. You can demonstrate leadership in any position, anywhere, any place, at home, in your mohalla, in your colony, in your society, in the office, in your locality, in your overall working places, anywhere leadership can be demonstrated.
So in your work life, I think every crisis throws up a new leader. That's what you see really. Somebody, irrespective of their designation or position in the organization, there will be somebody who will throw up their hands and say, come on, let me handle this, let us take the leadership here in doing it. So that is how it works typically. So that leadership does not equate to any formal positions or designations in your organization. That's pretty, we need to be clear about it. I think that was what very loud and clear, which Vivek Prakash conveyed here today. That is my takeaway here.
So if there is any other question, we can check this out. Otherwise, I think I have
more. So
completed.
let me take this opportunity to share our appreciation to Vivek for conducting a very wonderful session. The context setting was very good in the initial part where you took us through the journey. I was also reminded of my initial struggles of a manager, what you talked about exactly. In-depth knowledge or technical expertise, and then becoming a first-time manager. I was definitely lost. I couldn't know how to do that, what is all about, how to delegate, how to give things to other people. And I was really shocked at the end of the session that I was rated very poor. Promotion happened, but then the end result was what? You were rated as one of the worst performers there. Because you were not rated on your technical skills, you were rated on your managerial skills. So which were not even imbibed to you or through a formal training program. I'm talking about 15, 20 years ago. Those sessions were not there at that time. Now corporates have learned a lot and there are structured programs now available for it. So thank you very much, Vivek. These are all very true to life, what you have shared examples, and practical experiences have definitely, I hope, enlivened the knowledge sharing session for all our audiences. Thank you very much. And thanks to all the audience guys who have all contributed, and hope you have benefited really from this session. We look forward to the next session to be more interactive and more encouraging. One last thing before we sign off, all the participants, I can see there are a lot of people now still there in the call. As said at the beginning, we would like to hear suggestions from all of you as to what more do you want to cover. Maybe we are missing certain topics. We would like to hear that and help you out with that. We also encourage people to even come forward and say these are the ideas that they would like to present. We welcome that part also. It's not just limited to the three of us doing the session, but we want to keep this cadence running of every month. So please stick to the schedule. So if you have anything in mind, you may share it now. Maybe we will accommodate it a month later because of some discussions which will happen. But definitely we will find a slot for you. Don't worry about it. I know many of you are industry veterans. We would like to hear your own experiences for the benefit of all. Thank you again, Vivek. Thank you. Appreciate the session, and have a good evening, all of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for taking out time and being here. So, okay, Priyanka Shai's Agile Project Management. I think that we covered a few
Yeah.
before, right?
We did that earlier. I think now people will talk about your know how, act, and practice. I think they will now come to that rather than just the what part of it. I think that would be one of the takeaways for all of us over here, as to not just hearing what somebody is talking about. How do I imbibe it and implement it? That is the more important.
Yeah, some tools, processes, or something. I mean, actually executing with it. Actually, I meant that way.
You can also bring it up if you say you want some specific tools. We can talk about it, or we can ask our experts in the group who is knowledgeable about it. So we want to keep this forum more interactive, not just it's more like a one-day session right now. What we see here, we want to make it more interactive and beneficial for all of us. It should be a more lively network. That is the goal. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for coming over here. Thank you. We see you next month.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.